And welcome back to Sports on Tap. I'm your host, Rob Trump. We have Josh Jeffy, Ed Dick, Sean Duffy. We're live from Z's Cream and Bean in Hinckley.
Good to be back.
And
in a minute.
We got a very busy show tonight for the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. And now we have the Avon Eagles, which brought a bunch of guys here today. It's head coach Kyle Bodis. And, Coach, thanks for joining us here tonight. And we want to welcome him for coming on. And also some players. Introduce yourself going left to right here.
I'm Jake. I'm a senior.
I'm Danny, senior.
I'm Chris, and I'm a sophomore.
All right, we got two seniors and a sophomore. And last year, we'll first talk a little bit about last year, Coach. You guys went 29-7-1, and you're 10-0. Your league record. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Talk a little bit about how you did that last year, especially with the players. You have 11 letter winners returning from last year's team. Talk about last year's team and some of the players you might have lost that were keys to your team.
Last year's team, I mean, you can sum it up by Zach Zrecki was all Lorain County. Finished the season with I'm off mistaken, almost 67 points. I think he had 60 goals. I might be throwing off the numbers here, but Zach Zrecki was a key loss. Shane Doherty, my captain of last year, a true leader, was a key loss. Jarrett Green carried my second line. I have, last year was, as a first-year coach, I couldn't walk into a better situation. I had great leadership from those five. Leo on the back end was a nice addition for the younger kids. Other than that, last year was, like I said, it was a pleasure as a first-year coach walking into a program like that. This year, we returned 11. We brought in eight freshmen this year.
Wow.
The record doesn't tell us how good we are potentially. We look at the record this year at 3-12 overall, but we're young. As a young team, you make young mistakes, and we're trying to work through that. Our work ethic, it's here and there. In this league, you got to be 45 minutes in each game, and every league game's important, and the league is a very tight league. And if you take one night off, it's you can pay for it. And we're learning that right now. It's a learning experience, but I think we're starting to click a little bit more here and there, which is good.
Your team lost 76, or you graduated 92% of your scoring from last year. I mean, that's, like you said, that's a very significant portion of your team. But with the guys that we have, sitting in front of us, one being the goalkeeper, this question for all you guys. How have you guys been able to, kind of power through that and adjust, and as the season is progressing, what lessons have you learned so far, and what do you guys what are you guys looking forward to accomplishing by the year end?
I think just what Coach said, we lost 92% of our scoring last year, and 5 key players that really helped our team last year, and we're really just looking to fill those spots and work hard to score more goals.
I mean, we really just need to be a defensive-minded team now because we don't have much scoring anymore. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. We have to learn on getting everyone to score goals and moving the puck forward and try building our offense back up.
Yeah, it's early on in the season too. I mean, I'm sure things. It might be a little rusty early on in the season, and as you develop, you guys will start to click a little bit more. But you're in the north, in the white. Talk a little bit about your division this year. Olmsted Falls. I like your division because you have Olmsted Falls, Amherst Bay, you guys, Parma, and Westlake. You're kind of all in one general area. Have you developed any rivalries? From last year and going into this year so far?
I think their big rival is, you're obviously going to get Olmsted Falls with what happened last year in the Barron Cup Finals. But, every team in our conference or division, you can say, is a team that's always going to give you their all. I mean, it's a competitive division, and if you look at the division now, Olmsted Falls is 4-0 or 3-0 right now, but you got Amherst, a team that was 0-10 last year, that's fighting to get up there. So it changes every year. You don't know who you're going to get. You don't know what each team has coming in. You don't know their coaching status, but the division's tight, and that's what you should have in a division. That what makes it better in the Barron Cup, because you're going to play. You're playing teams that you play throughout the year, but it's a tight race for you. You never know who's going to get. I mean, like I said, the season's young, like you said, and I'm still fighting to get in the fourth spot in the Barron Cup, which you never know can happen. Look at, you get a fourth spot, you can get some bounces here, some luck there. You never know what could happen. I could be back in playing for the finals again, but the biggest rival I say is probably Olmsted Falls with what they did to us last night and probably what happened last year. But it's just, each team is very competitive, and I love the division.
Jake and Danny, you guys are you guys both seniors. Yeah, so how has your guys' roles transitioned from being the juniors last year to now being the leaders of the team this year? How have you guys been able to work together as seniors, and then also to incorporate guys like Chris and some of the underclassmen?
So this year's kind of different than last year in the fact that the seniors this year we have to incorporate the freshmen in to kind of take our roles for next year, whereas last year we had juniors and sophomores who were coming up and kind of knew what they were going. So this year we're really trying to help the freshmen kind of get more playing time, work hard in practice, and kind of show them what the team's all about.
I mean, I kind of had the same role. Last year I made a lot of key saves at the right point in time. This year I just got to make just more and try to keep the team in the games. And
yeah, man, you're facing a lot. It seems like you're facing a lot of shots. I'm surprised you're not. You have to be sore after some of these games.
Oh yeah. I love playing the game, so I love more shots.
Yeah, and we've seen what a dominant goalie can do. Especially with what you guys were able to accomplish last year, and this year, as you said, you guys have a young team, and law of averages. The more shots you face, even at a high save percentage rate that you have, you're doing a very good. You're doing a very good job given kind of what the circumstances are this year for sure.
Now, is it tough for you guys? You have 8 freshmen coming along. You guys almost have to know the offense, know the defense, but now you also are trying to teach the freshmen to get up to speed. So you do have, the freshmen playing at a high level. How have they been learning, coming along? Did they have previous hockey experience, or did you kind of get them to just come out and learn about your team a little bit?
So what we do as a program, we do the 8th graders, or we have mites, peewees or bantams now they are. We have a spring team for Avon that do local tournaments. So I periodically would go and watch and try to introduce the families in the Avon. But this year's freshmen, how can you, it's they're learning. It's a different speed. It's high school level versus youth program level. It's a different speed. You're playing. I had freshmen playing in the Rocky River tournament that were playing seniors that are 200 pounds, and I had a freshman out there who was 90 pounds. It's and it's not a shot at them. It's just they're young. They're young that I'm asking them to do a lot as a freshman, and it's a hard transition. It's in every level. The transition from high school to college hockey or to junior hockey it's a different speed. You got to learn the game different. The plays happen a little bit quicker. The body checks are a little bit harder. Shots are harder, and it's a different game. You're asking these kids to do a lot, which I appreciate. They come every day and ready to go, and it's a learning experience for them. It's a learning experience for me. It's the first year with this many freshmen, so
And it's probably not a bad thing. I mean, that's how you kind of develop your program too. Is once they start learning and get acclimated a little bit, they'll keep progressing, and you'll be set really down the line a little bit.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, that's what you got to do. I mean, you try to get a filter in and a nice path for these kids, and to believe in the program. And the hardest thing's keeping kids in the city of Avon, so they don't jump ship to your Catholic schools, and they don't play. That's the hard part now that we're finding out. You're letting kids slip through your hands that might want to go somewhere else, but you're trying to keep the program together and the tradition, what Avon brings, which is great as a community. I mean, the AD to the school has been amazing. Just trying to keep kids staying in the program is the hardest thing I'm finding out.
Yeah. One of the things I look at as you guys got your schedule coming up, at least from a league play standpoint, is you guys had a rough game last night against Olmsted Falls, but you have a little bit of a layoff here with the holidays and things like that. But your next game is not until January 6th. How often are you guys going to be practicing through that time period? And what are the things you guys are going to work on, obviously, going into your next game? Because you got, like I said, back-to-back games, and you kind of have your gamut to get into the Barron Cup and really kind of make your season there. So is this a good time that you guys look to focus on, okay, here's the stretch, or is it more, again, like you mentioned, just teaching and getting people used to the speed and the hits of the game?
So I use Saturday as the monkey off our backs. We finally got the one. Sunday was Sunday. I think we didn't play the best game. Showed on the score sheet was 10-0. But during this break, we go to Kenston on Thursday. I play Gilmore on Friday this week, and then we're in the Solon Christmas tournament. So I call this week the gauntlet.
Okay.
I mean, you're playing teams that you don't play on a regular basis, but you're playing Red North teams. So you look at the Red North as your high caliber, public school teams, and that's something you want to get to, as a program. So
right.
I mean, I think you look at this week as this is going to be tough, but it's more of a mental test for these kids. I'm trying to find out which one's going to help for that key run,
right,
like you're saying, that starts on January 6th.
Right.
So.
Okay.
One last question for me for the seniors, and you guys can ask the last questions. What's one memory that you guys have had, playing in the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League? If it was last year or years past, what are some great memories that you've had playing in the league?
Going 10-0 last year with Zach and all those seniors, Shane, being very competitive and beating Red North and Red South teams that we did play.
Yeah, that was a heck of a year. You guys probably had a lot of fun last year.
Yeah, and like Danny said, last year was awesome. Had a really good season, but overall, freshman year to senior year, I think every year has been fun. I look forward to playing in every game. Yeah,
I think this league has done an unbelievable job, with the players and, the website. We talked with Ryan Kelber and Joe Simon have done a really great job with the media guides help, especially on our show. We talk a lot about standings, player performances like with you guys, and it's a lot of fun to cover when you have all kinds of different things to look at, go to the games and stuff. It's a great league. Any last questions, guys?
Yeah, I do. Chris, we haven't heard too much from you. We've been talking a lot to the seniors, and rightfully so, as they are in fact seniors. But from your end, as a sophomore, you're playing. You're handed. You have the keys to the defense at this point, and at in your position, are you playing more defense, or are you kind of more of an attacking defender?
Compared to last year, I have been skating it up a lot more and have a more of an offensive role, but I do still play back and do a lot of defensive work.
And working with these seniors, I mean, being one of the guys that coach counts on, you're one of the underclassmen, but also looked upon as being counted on by the seniors. How are you able to handle both those types of how are you able to handle that as a sophomore?
It's definitely different. I went from last year as just hanging around in the background to this year as kind of like a spotlight, and I think it's been fun and looking at it and enjoyable.
Excellent.
All right, guys. Any last thoughts do you guys want to say on our show before you head out? They all have big smiles on their face. I think they're ready to eat some ice cream.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. giant
I
bucket.
appreciate it. I appreciate everything you guys do. I mean, the last year when we did the draft was probably the funnest thing. So if you're part of that draft, it's a riot. So I love it. I think that the sport in the Cleveland area needs a little bit more. Needs a little more production, but I think you guys do an amazing job. I love it.
Thank you.
I
We
watch you
appreciate
guys
it
all the time, so it's great.
Well, we appreciate you coming on all the way from Avon.
Yeah,
Guys, thanks for making
Thank
the
you
trip.
very much.
Thank you.
The Avon
Good
Eagles
luck.
hockey
Good luck
team
this year.
and Coach Kyle Bodas, thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Have a safe trip home. Eat some ice
Yeah,
cream.
get some ice
Come on, man. We're Sports on Tap. I'm Rob Trout. We have Josh Jeffy-Adick and Sean Duffy here. We're going to step away. We'll take a short break. And when we come back, Gordy Hammond of the Solon Comets Hockey Club will come and join us right here on Sports on Tap. Don't go anywhere.